basketball, the African League is ongoing in Rabat, Morocco. Rivers Hoopers, after taking out their counterparts from Stade Mali, had their second encounter yesterday, and it was very thrilling. It ended 88 to 82 points over FUS of Rabat. Rivers Hoopers beating FUS of Rabat on home soil and getting their second victory so far at the Prince MoulayAbdellah Sports Complex in Rabat, Morocco.
It was an impressive start for Rivers Hoopers, especially in their first game. You and I were here on Saturday where we were trying to follow up with their first match against Stade Malien, which they actually won. I think it was an impressive start for them, and you need such morale booster in your first game to also consolidate in your second game, which is what they did against Stade Malien. They did what they needed to do, which is at least get their first opening win for the match. Then building up onto that against the host, they were able to do the needful as well. Was a very cagey encounter, 88 to 82, about 6-point disparity. What matters is that we were able to overcome the host, and it points to the direction that Rivers Hoopers may come out of that group successfully.
Let's look at the foreign players injected into the squad. Akek was voted as the most valuable player of this fixture.
Yeah, impressive one for him out there.
Double figures in points.
Exactly. I think some of the foreign import, they are doing pretty well, starting the game, especially for Kevin Amayo. He's been very fantastic in the first game and even the second game as well. Akak also doing the needful, So for me, I think it's been a very, fair start for the 5 players drafted in.
Well, the Rivers Hoopers get showing their intent to go beyond the third place finish. Like you saw of them last season in Formula 1, beating host nation FUS of Rabat, Morocco by 84 to 84 points. Earlier, they've beaten Stade Mali by 81 to, I think, 68 points or thereabout, and now doing what is expected of them. I will hope that they will do that against their third place side as well in the competition. But I think Rivers Hoopers is showing, yes, their intent to at least be in the final of this year's. And for qualification, it looks almost certain that they will now qualify from the Kalahari Conference of the Basketball League ongoing in Rabat, Morocco. Talking about basketball reminds me that the biggest of them all, which is the NBA, is ongoing out there in the United States of America. In New York last night, or the early hours of this morning, we saw the Knicks beat Phoenix Suns by 112 points to 98. Denver Nuggets lost at home. Indiana Pacers were really fast with them because they beat the host team Nuggets by 120 points to 125 points. Golden State Warriors flattered to deceive because they lost at home to Houston Rockets, 96 points to 106 points. Mike, Golden State Warriors, we saw them at the weekend do so well, now losing again in the early hours of this morning.
Golden State Warriors for this regular season of 2025, they'll be very inconsistent. It's either when they win today, when the expectations are high, they lose their next game. It wasn't a very good season generally. If you take a look at the quality of players in their ranks, you expect them to be doing better than what they are doing right now. But it is what it is in the NBA, always a very tough fixtures. There are no teams that you want to say, okay, this one is a pushover, let me just get there and get my point, get the victory. It's been a very tight season in the NBA. But for Golden State Warriors, I tell you, this is not the kind of performance that so many of us expected of Golden State Warriors, especially before the start of the season.
Golden State Warriors, no doubt, flipping so far at the Basketball League for this season. Meanwhile, Milwaukee Bucks showed the stuff they are made of with a victory over New Orleans Pelicans, 111 points to 107 points. Giannis Antetokounmpo, as usual, very outstanding.
For sure. Giannis Antetokounmpo, one player that is very reliable. Whenever he's fit for the Milwaukee Bucks, just know it that he's going to do his bit by making sure he scores those pointers or 3-pointers that can help Milwaukee Bucks go through, and he showed once again that he is a leader of the team out there, and impressive victory for them.
Well, before we get out of basketball, let's bring you some of the result. One of the results that has just come in from Rabat, Morocco. Al-Ittihad of Egypt in the Kalahari Conference is known as the debutant in that group, but from the play so far, they've not shown that they were coming for the first time. They've just beaten their counterparts, Stade Malien, in the early hours, or just late last night. Mike, this is shocking. 72-69 victory over their opponents.
Yeah.
Stade Malien have been at least twice into this competition.
Yeah.
But it looks like the whipping team now.
It looks very surprising, especially losing their first game against Rivers Hoopers. I thought maybe they were going to go all out for vengeance against the debutant, but then it wasn't to be. Look as though they will find it very difficult to go through from or even qualify from this group. If a debutant, is humbling them, it tells you the level of, seriousness that the debutant has. If care is not taken, Stade Malien, one of the traditional names, might not just even make it to the next round. But I tell you, it is one that Rivers Hoopers need to watch out, talking about the debutant, because we are in the same group. And of course, our next game is going to be against the Al-Ittihad. So I think it points to the direction on what Rivers Hoopers need to do in our match against them, to buckle up their sleeve and get ready for whatever they may throw at us, because they are not just pushovers.
Still looking at that Kalahari Conference, we know now that the host team, FUS of Rabat, have lost twice. The Ittihad, the debutant, beat them in their very first game. And so now it's looking very straight between Ittihad and Rivers Hoopers. But first, the host team has lost 2 games. Stade Malien has lost 2 straight games.
Yeah, first, these teams, the host team and the Stade Malien, they are regular names. These are names that we know in the Basketball African League, and in their different leagues out there, they've been doing pretty well. They've been doing fantastic. So it is surprising to see them, dropping on their low as losing 2 straight games. So for me, I think it's not a good one for them. But then again, it will also tell you that any team that made it to the Basketball African League, you don't need to push them over. They have something to offer, and that is why they are getting the result, especially for Al-Ittihad, who is making their debut and 2 straight games, a 2 straight victory. FUS Rabat, losing 2 straight games. Then you talk about Stade Malien losing 2 games. I think it's not a good one at all. But then for the side of the debutant, it is a very joyous moment for them.
Well, I think Stade Ittihad had recruited well. They had some funny stars. I think funny stars, former player in the squad there as well. Mahmoud is there and doing so well for the team. But that's the latest result we can get from Rabat, Morocco, where Rivers Hoopers is so far showing some level of dominance at the Basketball League Africa. Next up, it will be Ittihad. Both of them haven't won 2 of their games each, so it promises to be thrilling. Now, who leads in that group? That will be what will be decided much later.